Hey guys, how are ya? This app we're going to be working on the winch. As you can see, it's obviously already in, which we're going to get to in a second. But if you can see, it's a twin motor runva. Just breaking the ice for you there. Stick around to the end. I'll talk about why I chose this and what's going on. But in the meantime, there's going to be a bit of a build on the bar and getting the winch in. So enjoy. So this is the air clutch and this is the normal clutch. So if you can see in there, I'll spin it. You can see there's a groove on the bottom, and there's another one, and there's another one. So that's essentially what locks the all the gears in, is that extra bit that drops down the bottom there. And then all you're doing essentially is when you open it and turn it, it just lifts the pin up, and then you can spin the drum without it being engaged and spin it back, and it will grab one of those slots again and then continue the spin off the motors. So all the air clutch does is it's connected to air instead of manual, and that pumps the little rod down into the grooves by air. As simple as that. Okay, so as you can see on this, it's mounted from the bottom, where high mounts are usually mounted from the front. Gear wheel pins, you got a choice of bottom, front, back, whatever. But this is on the bottom. My bar suits front mount. So what I'm going to do, I was going to do this anyway with the high mount. I'm going to cut around this perimeter, and then I'm going to put a lap over on it, and then have bolts so I can unbolt the front, pull the winch out the front without taking the bar off, which was would have been a great thing to do previously. And then I need to fab up a bottom winch cradle to suit the runva. But yeah, I'll just cut this out and take it from there. I've grinded it all down now. As you can see, obviously it has the blade's width of a gap in it, which is fine, but that's essentially how it's going to be. And then I can just undo the bolts that I'm going to have in it, pop that off. Winch going to be sitting right there, and I can pull that straight out. Just marking out the grill while I'm here to cut the grill out for the motors, obviously. It'll be in line with this cutout, because that's going to be where the end plate is, I suppose it's called. And then I'm just going straight up on that line, straight across the top. That's going to give me a bit of room in there, maybe 30 mil. And I just want to do it with like the top smooth line, so it kind of looks a bit clean. That mesh go, all of this mesh, I'm going to go down there, and then I only need to cut it to here, but like it will look dicky if I have just like that much left. So these are all going, and then it's coming down this line, and that kind of comes in on there, so there'll still be a bit hanging over the end of the case down here, but who knows, that will probably get snapped out like my old one. But yep, the old recip going absolutely hard. Come on, successful. Actually spewing, because this is a nice grill, not a single cracking or anything, so you guys will probably hate me for this, but sliced up. As you can tell, just fucking went straight up there, follow that around. I need to trim this one because it's a bit off, just because I didn't want to hit the light bar, and then this one just runs up in line with that, and that should be plenty of room for the old winch. Just sitting it in there now for a bit of sizing. Had to cut the grill a bit more. That's just a rough cut. I'm going to clean all this up and paint it after, but that's ideally where I wanted to be sitting. It's just sitting on a block of wood at the moment, but that's the height I wanted to be sitting. That's how forward I wanted to sit. But obviously, as you can see, this bulges forwards, which is fine. On this bit, it already has the checkout for where the top hat was on the worn, but on this, obviously, leaning forwards, it hits there. So I'm gonna have to try to cut that out, but I think it might still hit, so we might have to push the winch back a bit, which I didn't want to do, but see how we go. Even if I need to cut down here a little bit, but I don't like the idea of that. I need to keep in mind the plates that are going to have the bolts on them as well will probably be hitting this as well. So the winch will probably be getting pushed back a bit, which is fine, but yeah, I would have preferred not to. Open this up, and if you can see in there, obviously heaps of room on that side, and then that side, we've got heaps of room as well. My radiator is actually pushed back a bit, like 40 mil, so that's why my bar's so snug and everything, but have a go at that. That's gonna be cool. So I've cut these up real quick. These are gonna go just like that, obviously. And then I've just got this flat plate, cut a slit, which I'll weld back up. That was just to bend it, because I don't have a sheet bender. But yeah, essentially, that's gonna be the box. I've left it hanging over on this side because so I can weld up in this side as well. Weld up in this side, weld everywhere. 2 holes in here, so that's essentially going to be the main base plate on both sides. And then I'll do some cross bracing to tie it all together. So if you can see here on my welding table, that's the cut and the bend, and that's just the weld joining it back together. And then yeah, that's the rest of the bracket. Still hot, but you get the gist of how all that will work. So I've had to trim across the tip there and a bit more down this side to clear everything, but that's sitting pretty good. That's where the winch is going to be sitting. That's just sitting on the pads, just tacked them on, nothing crazy. But yeah, just to give me an idea of kind of what's going on, which, mate, it looks absolutely sick. Hold on. Have a go at that. That looks so good in there. But trekking forward, all I'm going to do now, I'll mark the holes and drill them out just so I know that's the spot it's going. And then I'll brace this off some more, and then I'll probably pull the bar off and then go through and weld it all. While the bar's off, I need to bend my sliders a bit because the bar's kind of twisted and bent. So it's a pig there. Scrubby, sorry. Pig to get them onto the sliders. So I need to put a kink in them so that they angle down and actually hit the pad they're meant to. But as far as that goes, that is sick. So on this scrubby, that's where it's sitting, and that pad is where it needs to be. So whenever I put it on, I need to push it down as hard as I can and get a bolt in it. So I'm just gonna put like a little kink somewhere in there, maybe down here. I'm not sure yet, but just so I don't have to fight it so much. Base all welded up. Front, little tabs. That sits in there, snug. But I need to tack 2 bolts up in there. I'm not going to do one across the bottom because it will be in the way of the winch, like where it's actually sitting. So it's just going to be 2 up the side on either side, which should be fine. You really got to stand back sometimes and just admire the absolute pinnacle of workspaces, mate. Benches everywhere, everything in order, clean, swift, ready to work. Definitely not squatting all day. Alright, this is where we're up to. I got a bit carried away. The pad's all mounted, welded through. I got the bolts welded on the tabs. I'm not going to brace that because honestly that is solid as hell. And if there ever is a problem, then I can go through it then. And I didn't do a tab that way because it would hit the winch itself. So I had to just do the 2 on either side, which should be fine as well. But essentially that's all done. On the bar, I've just mounted the winch in and out. Little check out for the light bar cable, and then just cleaned up all the edges and stuff. Now I was going to paint this as well, as I said countless of times, but I kind of was just like sitting back and looking at some photos for a sec, and like it's like the only thing that isn't black on the front of the car, so I was like, oh no, I'll leave it like this and just have like a little bit of a offset of colour for once. But it's not too bad, is it? How's this? So I managed to find these bolts. Look how flat they are. Absolutely perfect for what I needed, because I wasn't sure how I was going to have the Fairlead on without the bolts hitting the case of the winch. But we are sweet. I'm going to toss this on. I'm going to save the wiring for another day because I've got a bit of stuff to do. But as far as that goes, like the winch is in its spot. I'll toss this on and then it will just be wired up, throw some rope on. I need to change the air hose I had already to my free spool in the past is too small. It's a size smaller, so I need to get an adapter or change that or something. But yeah. Alright guys, I know I lied to you. I said I wasn't going to wire anything up, but I've just put the neg and the positive on. I haven't worried about the grill switch or the in-cab switches, and I'm just running the switch panel, switch remote for a little bit, just to get the rope on. Now I just want to show you how C goes. Alright, go outer. Not bad, we'll go back in. So, not too bad, given it's essentially stock. Which I was going to change the motors and stuff and try and get it going a bit better. But at the moment, I think I'm just going to leave it and see what she can actually do. But not bad. Now, another problem. This is a 12mm rope, 45 meters. I knew just the diameter of the barrel isn't as big as the worn barrel. Just that lip isn't as deep on this. So I knew it was going to be an issue trying to fit it on. Like, it fits everywhere without touching, but as soon as it's going to be onto one side, I'm going to be stuffed. So I might get a new, like, this is like bulging out like 15mm now. So I'll get a new, like, I don't know, about 10, maybe 11mm rope. And I don't know, maybe run just like 35 meters or something, we'll see. But essentially, that's sick. Alrighty, so that's essentially it. Straightforward, cut the front out. That's just bolt up now, so I can slide the winch out the front. Winch is mounted on the bottom, quick mount to that. Didn't go as hardcore as I originally planned, because it just seemed like it was plenty enough. We'll find out. And then the big runva dog. Obviously, as you saw, the plus 76 drum, the F3 spool clutch, and that's all I've done. Shout out to my mate Jai Roberts for doing the plus 76 drum. Absolute weapon. He's got a weapon of a 80 build and a MIDI build coming on, so suss his Insta to suss that stuff out. But yeah, that just allowed me for heaps more rope. And then I was going to change the motors, but I'm going to see how it goes for now. Another thing with this front plate being bolted on, just 4 bolts, people probably think, oh, they're a bit flimsy and whatnot. But obviously the winch is mounted to the base, and the only load that will be on this is when I'm doing a pull where the winch rope's like this and it's pulling up, pulling down, pulling to the side, which it will be fine. There's no in or out load on this, so she's sweet. Also, for anyone asking about my 24 volt setup, I'm running a 24 volt alternator that I made an adapter for off the side of the motor. So I don't have a 12 to 24 volt booster box. It's just the alternator, feeding power into the 2 batteries I have under the tray, which I might probably get 4 in there soon. And then back to, I've got a switch to turn it off and on, and then running back into the winch. But essentially that is a real basic setup, so it's achievable. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going, right, man, those winches suck. And compared to all the top dog winches, yeah, it probably does. But you got to ask yourself, you've heard that from people, but do you actually know for a fact that they suck? and that's what we're here to see. I pretty much brought this because you can get them for a steal because people think they suck. Obviously because they're belt driven, essentially they're just a top mounted blow mount. But I got this with the idea of just experimenting. I just wanted to see what it could do, which so far from in and out, surprisingly faster than I thought it would be. But yeah, it's just a big FU to everyone that is thinking these things suck. So I just wanted to see how far I can go with it and like mod it up. Now, something people don't want to hear is worn high mount winches absolutely suck when they're bone stock. They are putrid. It's only when you start slapping thousands of dollars at them after spending thousands of dollars on one that they actually turn into anything good. So this winch, like 1/3 of the price of a worn high mount, and essentially you don't need to do anything I've done, and it's pretty much ready to go, and it's already a higher rated winch than a worn high mount and already faster than a worn high mount. In my old worn high mount, I've like probably over $5,000 spent in that, and it still sucks, still slow. But you know, it is what it is. So that's the rundown of why I've gone with this. Total experiment, just want to see how it can actually work, and if it works good. And if it doesn't, then your boy's gonna get something fancy. But yeah, for now, she's pretty cool. I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna go do winches or anything. Probably save that next weekend. I'll try get out and do something. Need to rebuild my hydro bumps, and then should be good to go to the party in this thing, which has been a while, so should be good. But essentially, we'll find out. Not bad, we'll go back in.